kudos to him. You know, he's still consuming oxygen, but, you know, if he were to just one day, I would shrug my shoulders. But on to greener lights and better pastures. Yeah, greener grass, shall we say. DH got us one. You know, viewbotting is ruining streaming. I've been seeing a lot because I know that that Twitch has cracked down on viewbotting. And at some point, like over a week span, their viewership dropped by 24%, which is crazy. But I think genuine numbers for streamers is going to be positive for everybody to see. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it's more so for advertisers. If you need the social proof beyond like 1,000 viewers, right? Once somebody has like 500, 7,500, 1,000 viewers, to me, you're cemented as a content creator that probably makes a living streaming or being a content creator. So at that point, you matter in the space, right? I would assume that if I said your name to somebody else, they might probably know you, especially if you upload VODs on YouTube and whatnot. That makes sense. Now, on the other side of things, right? It's dishonest and it's rough because you have smaller creators that grind it out, that stream for a lot of time, that post reels, post shorts, or don't, and just straight stream for a long time. And they're sitting out here with, 2, 4, 7, 12 viewers that are genuine. And then you have a streamer that's botting for 5,000, 10,000 viewers and their chat is going dumb slow, right? That doesn't really make sense. On a side note, I don't like XQC being in the corner of my screen right now. Something tells me he's about to be involved, and I don't want him to be involved, but he probably is.
Combat botting. With the recent changes to Twitch that specifically combat botting, I want to talk about what I feel regarding the growing usage of view botting on Twitch and its relation to how we as viewers consume content. Let's be real, this new era of view botting is only ushering us into a more synthetic content creation space. Only in 2025 can you quite literally bot your way to the top. Only in 2025 can you quite literally manufacture careers and fuck over your peers. But is it really fucking people over, or is it merely a new update to the ever-changing game we call social media? I'm yambling, but y'all already know, as the hood Socrates, I'm gonna talk about everything and analyze where content creation is going, so let's actually start. Like I said, Twitch passed an update that was meant to crack down on view botting and follow.
A quick update on view counts. We have teams and tech dedicated to ensuring that the views that show up on channels reflect actual viewership and are artificially inflated in any way. Ultimately, metrics on Twitch should represent the real and growing communities that show up and participate on channels, so we regularly update detection tools and methods. We recently made changes that meaningfully improved our ability to identify view bots, inauthentic viewership, and other potentially fake engagement. These changes will roll out over the next few weeks, so if your channel was view-botted, or if some of your viewers are artificial or inflated, you will see a major impact to your channel's view count. This also means that third-party sites that publish unverified Twitch view counts are going to see changes in data over time. We recognize that view-botting can be out of the streamer's control, and in making these changes, our goal is to improve the experiences of both streamers and viewers. Okay.
Following this change, apparently site-wide views went down by 5 to 22%, depending on the hours, which is insane. To see such a massive change so quickly shows that the view botting problem has been prevalent for a while. For nearly 1/4 of the site's views to be
many top 5,000 streamers is kind of crazy. I mean, view botting has been a thing for a while. People used to buy YouTube subscribers. People used to buy YouTube views. People buy clout, right? People buy Instagram clout. So it's not crazy to me to see that. The thought process between 5 to 22%, depending on the hour, isn't crazy to me. It doesn't surprise me. And I can't mentally put into context how crazy it should be unless they give me a graph that says how many views people were averaging, like as a total on Twitch. If you give me the total view count, you say it was 2 billion and it dropped to 1.5 billion. Okay, yeah, that's actually crazy. That's OD. But if you say it's like 2 million and it drops to 1.5 million, that's still a significant amount of people that are concurrently viewing on the app. Still a significant dip, but not as insane and like, holy crap, we need to do something type vibe.
Potentially zapped just by an update is a nod towards just how significant viewbotting has become to Twitch's culture, which I'll discuss a little later. But for now, let's talk about the main nigga behind the Viewbot investigation, XQC.
What y'all is, bro, just work for that shit, gang. And a lot of them niggas viewers ain't real. So stop viewbotting. Everybody in the street.
Nah, chat.
We got to give Bruce his flowers every now and then. Did he do some shiesty stuff before? Yes. But very rarely did he go on. Was he ever on stream talking greasy? And it wasn't, for the most part, factually accurate. There were a lot of tells that he gave. Now, a lot of people used to look at him like they look at Kanye, but he ended up not being as out of pocket as some people originally believed he was.
Chat, what?
In the industry, stop view.
Chat, when did he say that, chat? Guys, when did he say that?
Now, what does XQC got to do with
Is that
this?
the guy? This is the...
Viewbotting, bro.
3 years
Like, I'm
ago.
talking to y'all niggas as streamers.
Chat, what happened with Bruce anyway, chat? Did he just disappear? Chat, I feel like
you're
he
not
might
caught
have
up.
been too real for the industry, low-key. Chat, now that I look back at it, chat, yes, chat, he might have been too real.
Calm down.
People weren't ready to hear the truth a little bit.
Calm down. That's not why he got booted.
Honestly, I think XQC's right. I think Bruce might have been too real for the industry because I remember back when he got exposed, I was on everyone else's side. I'm like, get this nigga up out of here. He's weird. He's fake. But now that I've gotten older, I'm 18 now. All I can say is that Bruce has been cooking for a while, and I feel like Bruce's cancellation, not saying that what he did wasn't weird, because nigga, you're pillow talking about your friends, just say it in person. But I will say, from where I stand now, I think Bruce probably said that because he witnessed the fake stuff that I'm commenting on firsthand. I'm hella critical of streamers and of the content creation space right now, but to be fair, at least the stuff that I be talking about, I'm not there. I just speak on from what I'm seeing through a lens. So for Bruce to witness that firsthand, it probably made him go crazy. And when I say go crazy, I mean crazy. Because when you think about it, viewbotting is only a facet of the broader issue that is synthetic content or Buzz Lightyear content. But that was 2 years ago, and I'd say viewbotting has only gotten worse. It's clearly always been around, but the subject has grown significantly, and that's definitely because it's just getting to a point. Why am I seeing various streamers averaging 30k viewers, but the chat not moving, or the polls hardly got responses? All that means is that it's another way streamers have blended and blurred the lines between the music industry and the streaming industry. Sooner or later, we're gonna see an influx of industry plans for streaming, botting their own viewers, which we definitely have a
Even music not trash though. But I do see, I'm gonna go ahead and say I do see where he's coming from right here. The biggest thing is always gonna be content creators that pump out videos. The polls are the most damning part of it all though. Like if you have views and your chat's kind of moving, but there's not like a lot of crazy motion, I can kind of understand. I'm willing to entertain the possibility that you just don't have a lot of people that just like chatting in your chat, right? Now when we get to like 10k, 20k plus, that logic kind of falls apart. But the worst part is when they do polls. Oh my goodness, I've seen a couple. I'm not gonna say names, but I've seen a couple, you've seen a couple, we've all seen a couple. And they just genuinely struggle. What's good, Dora? It's, as a content creator, you just have to be honest with yourself. Now, some people are fine being fake, and if they're fine being fake, cool. You know, Viewbotting's been around for a minute, like DH said. It's rough. It's rough. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got to get my hair braided down, but in the meantime, this is what we rocking with, and I needed to get that stream off, so I had to. It's rough because it doesn't make sense why, as content creators, you can't be a little bit more honest with yourself. But I don't want to sit there and throw around the word insecurity or anything like that. But I think that a lot more people could honestly be more successful if they were just honest with their content. Viewbotting, to a certain extent, is unnecessary. If you're already popping, there's no reason for you to viewbot because you already make a living. That's just greedy, right? That's unnecessary. Now, I understand. I'm not going to agree with it, right? Because that's not my bag, right? That's not what I reach into. That's not in my Duffy. But if you're a content creator and you've been grinding for a minute, right? you stream every day, you post reels and all this stuff, and you just can't seem to crack that next stage. And you buy bots. And now people start flooding into your stream and actual people like rocking with your content, and then you cut off the valve and stop buying bots, and then you just rock with whatever you have there. I'm not going to say it's right. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I will say I understand. But if you already matter and you're already averaging more, if you average more than 1,000 views concurrently, there's no reason for you to bot. You're making money regardless. Just properly monetize your community and you're good to go. The math just doesn't math.
Few suspects that could fit the bill, like Ray or Rakai, but more so Ray, because side note, how did a random Taiwanese nigga meet Kai Cenat and end up one of the biggest US streamers of today? If that sounds real, you let me know. But knowing Coco Melon Cenat,
a lot of
it was
situation
probably
success.
another act put together for his childlike audience. And low key, bro, now that I'm making this video, it's so much discourse on this Viewbotting shit. I don't know if I want to cover it all. Do it, you lazy bitch. Okay, nigga, chill. Now, after the change, XQC was also looking over the usual suspects for Viewbotting, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, making videos on streamers has caused me to interact with their content more than I'd anticipate. And I hate to say it, but XQC is growing on me, bruh. If he wasn't hanging with them weird boys like Aiden and, you know, Trump, for like, I don't even know how that happens, but if he wasn't with all them niggas, I might actually check him out here and there, because he really do be going in on these Viewbot suspects, and it's pretty funny.
Stream charts. Oh, I think it's interesting. Like, I don't want people to be like falsely accused or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'll check Lacey. Jesus. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm catching a pattern, and I gotta say, now we have two people that the last 2/3 days are bad. So maybe the bot stuff from Twitch actually end up being more true like now, unless we have to find more people to recontextualize it.
So this clip was XQC being genuinely surprised that the Twitch executives got up off their lazy asses and cooked up a genuine anti-Viewbot update. Like I said, this is when I started fucking with QC, cause why is this nigga genuinely standing on business? Nigga walked up like Drewski's big ass, pointed his gun at each streamer that he thinks is viewbotting, and now that's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about the reactions to being accused of viewbotting and what I think of them and how they're probably guilty and just won't keep it a bean. Let's start with Lacey, who immediately after the XQC investigation was claiming he don't even know if he was getting botted for real.
Stuff. Anyways, so I'm sitting there in bed this morning and I'm thinking, what if, obviously the age restriction probably had a little, had stuff to do with the viewer drop, right? But what if I have been getting botted, right? So I wanted to go live to see, like literally today, to see if I've been getting botted or not. This thread also gives more context. It says 3 stars. But listen, at either way, so first of all, if I have been botted, I am struggling in my own head to know what is real and what is fake. I've had streams where I've had like 80K viewers, or like streams where I've had 60K or 40K, 50K, and I don't know what's real.
In my opinion, I think he's lying. Like, obviously there's definitely a possibility he's not, because people bot other people to try to get them banned. These are not things that are outside of the realm of possibility. It's just the fact that Lacey is a top streamer who is connected to various streamers, and I'm supposed to believe he's just completely clueless about the bots. And something
I'll say this. I'm not going to defend Lacey. That's not my MO. But it does stand to reason, because he is in FaZe, and FaZe did do the rebrand and they brought new people in. If anybody's going to bot people for the benefit of clout, it would be the organization. It wouldn't be Lacey saying, please bot me, please bot me, please bot me. Now, I'm not necessarily a Lacey fan. He's funny from time to time, but he's not like anything over the top, entertaining, crazy, none of that. So I don't think it's a Lacey thing of him wanting to be botted. I think more than anything, if you're an individual streamer and it's proven and the data kind of suggests that you're potentially being botted, it sounds like it's you. Exactly. If you're in a group, it's probably not any individual person in the group. It's probably the overarching organization that's pumping money out to make sure the group looks really good. And I can't fault the organization for wanting to do it. I've even heard that some people think that when people do sponsored streams, they think the sponsors buy bots to make the stream look like it's popping more, to make the brand obviously look like it's doing something really, really good with a really strong creator. And that makes sense too. I'm not going to sit there and give them the benefit of the doubt or say that it's too crazy or irregular that they're doing it. But I don't want to. I don't like how XQC is jumping the gun and pointing at a few streamers that, particularly if he's about to jump on Rage, I'm going to go ahead. I know exactly which couple days he's probably talking about. And because I was in those streams, I'm YRG. I've been YRG. Will forever be YRG unless he does something crazy, which he hasn't. But benefit of the doubt, let's let him have it.
Ray said in a different clip that made me think viewbotting is merely being integrated within the industry itself. So I just can't believe what Lacey is saying. And the common consensus is that, dude, he's probably viewbotting, because he had both XQC and Asmongold pointing out how weird the viewership was looking on Twitch view tracker or whatever, stream tracker. I don't know. And yes, that's the same Asmongold that wipes his bloody gums on his walls or some shit and doesn't like water.
Lacey right here, 14,000, 13,000, 35,000, 21,000, 46,000, 23,000, 30,000, 27,000, 33,000. So if you're going from like, I mean, this is I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not saying that anybody is like a loser. I'm not saying that anybody's doing anything wrong, but here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think in a lot of these circumstances, many of these streamers that are losing viewers, I think that Twitch is getting some false positives.
Which one was it? No, not on
That's
Kick.
fair.
It was Fat Camp. Thank you, Fat Camp. I had 70K, right?
I think it would be insane to find 50,000 people across all languages on earth that would be willing to listen to this guy speak for more than a minute. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, as more of as a scientific measure, it'd be hard to find that many people. Like the anti-kick bot shit is like really advanced, and I'm telling you,
what the fuck are you?
They know, and they don't pay out bottom outs, so that doesn't help you.
Do y'all see why he's growing on me? He dead ass told.
The thing that irritates me about XQC is when he says stuff like that, knowing that by and large, I don't know anybody that would say XQC is more entertaining than Lacey. So for you to say that about Lacey, unless you're going to sit there and say that potentially you over on Kick because of your reasons, you may have something going on. I don't like the way he phrased that. It's one thing to insinuate the possibility of somebody, potentially viewbotting or being knowledgeable about viewbotting on their channel if you're an organization. I doubt an organization would realize that somebody could be potentially viewbotting and either not spread the viewbotting to the entire circle or nip that in the bud so they won't have to deal with that PR nightmare later on. So I do think it's a phase thing, and it is potential that they are being botted. But we're not going to sit here and play the semantical game of, we're not going to make ad hominem attacks on somebody. Focus on the numbers. Yeah.
Lacey that he's not getting read because those are robot views and that 50K people listening to him is unrealistic, which it definitely is. And I understand streaming is the next big thing. It's amazing, yada yada. The youth have all their eyes on these streamers. And I can't name one nigga in real life that sits down to watch FaZe Lacey, and if I did, I'm forgetting him. I might be tweaking. Am I tweaking this video? Y'all let me know. A little bit. There's two more people the XQC called out that I want to discuss before I wrap it up, and he called out both DDG and Your Rage for viewbotting. Let's start with Rage's response because I find it interesting.
But I just don't like the way you operate, gang. Like, I don't know, like you move, like I'm trying to imagine a reality where, let's say it's reverse and SUC dropped to like 8K. Me posting SUC stats on Twitch like a fucking, are you crazy, nigga? What type of loser ass? What the like, in what planet am I posting SUC? I'd probably hit him up and be like, yo, X, like, this is where you should get it checked out. And I start talking about it more, and as more progresses, if he looks like guilty and shit, I'm like, yo, X, I ain't gonna lie. You've been buying, gang. Just tell the niggas that shit. I ain't about to go and try to expose a nigga without even knowing facts first. Now because I know he's gonna get hate. I don't want to send unnecessary hate to a nigga. You feel me? But these niggas don't operate like that. They don't care. We're not humans to these. We're just a talking point. We're a topic for their stream, nigga. No matter if I've been to a nigga house, no matter how much I gas this nigga, how cool, they're not. He was raised on the internet, bro. He was raised with a fucking keyboard in his hand. He doesn't have in-person connections.
So some of this response is ad hominem and deflection and not actually addressing any of the claims, but attacking XQC's character by calling him a loser for pulling up stats, which I don't know what's wrong with that. He's making a point about viewbotting, but okay. I will say the only thing I sort of understood from Rage's side was him saying that XQC was viewing streamers as talking points, which to an extent, I think there is some truth to that, but that'd be generally speaking. All XQC did was look at stats before and after the anti-bot update. He seen Rages was crazy and made a logical conclusion. So I don't think that was just minimizing streamers to talking points and going for clips here. Bots exist, and even if you're not the one botting, you might have got botted. I will say I also agree with Rage when he says you shouldn't just accuse innocent people, especially when you don't got no real proof. But let's keep it real, bro. 1/4 of the site's viewership is down post-patch. I mean, I guess niggas just tripping. I guess niggas just hating. Rage responded to his own viewbot allegations, but also pointed out another streamer who shall not be named according to him, who's doing the same thing, but nobody is on that same streamer's dick. But XQC came in and said, bro, that's DDG. And DDG did respond, but hold on.
I was trying to figure out what the...
My thing with, I knew he was going to bring Rage up. After the update, when Rage went live, he had 2 streams where he might have had the laggiest, worst quality streams I've ever seen him produce. Now, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if they had a solar storm or what was going on, if a line got cut. But, you know, as much as we YRG, we got to call a spade and just say the 2 streams were mud as hell. So I was not surprised because one of them, I think he ended after, he usually doesn't run like super short streams, but he ended up ending one after like an hour. 45 minutes, an hour, 15 minutes. Like it was in that short window because it was that terrible. And he kept trying to fix it, but he couldn't fix it. So I'm not going to sit here and jump on Rage when I was watching the stream, watching how bad it was and observing it happening. I think that's the context that he's trying to refer to with XQC and the fact that he just decides to, you know, dump the entire clip into random people just because the numbers look weird. It's fine to point out that some people's numbers look weird, right? There's no issue there. But when you start accusing people and saying they are most likely, and then in the case of Lakesley saying there's no world where 50,000 people would watch him, maybe there is. Maybe there is. There is a large population of a younger audience that watches some of these guys. So if we're going to sit here and act like, oh, they don't deserve views now, based on what? No offense to XQC, but when I think of the average person, even in America, I don't think of XQC. Now, maybe in his home country, he is what the average is, right? But most of Twitch's audience, from my knowledge and the data that I've reviewed, comes from within the United States. So that, to me, that was an ad hominem attack that I didn't like. And that's why I was perfectly fine with what Rage did afterwards, because it's uncalled for. Looking at numbers isn't a problem. But I think if that's somebody that I associate with in the creator sphere, or I'm somebody that if I know you, if we talk on a daily basis, if you have my number, if you DM me and I actually will respond, and you think it looks weird, brother, hit my line first and let me know. So have a conversation with me about it. Because you better sit there and just steamroll me, throw me under the bus. And it may or may not be true. But now everybody sits there and sees you pointing the gun at me, and that's all they see. They don't see all the stuff going behind the scenes. They don't understand context because you didn't even give them context. You just looked at the numbers and said, yep, you're viewbotting. And that's disingenuous to do.
Going on. I'm speaking of, can't say names, but there's literally a streamer right now that literally told me, I'm not gonna say his name because he can come out and say it when he wants to say it. He's probably gonna say it soon, that he's being botted. Yet he didn't get hit. He's a top streamer that has been being botted for months, and he's not hit. And I'm getting hated on. That nigga's body probably live right now with 30,000 niggas in there right now, my nigga. You feel me? Which also led to him showing me DMs of the person that gives him the bots working with a streamer that's fucking whatever. I'm
Okay, you got me. It's DDG. I said it.
And honestly, let's talk about that for a second. Why is Rage not saying anything? For everything you can criticize XQC for, at least he's saying it how it is. XQC standing on business on their, you feel me? It's just kind of consistent with Rage, because there's another clip of him basically telling XQC to DM niggas if he suspects they're viewbotting to avoid hate or whatever that means.
XQC, you like the of this streaming shit. You've been out here for you've been streaming, one of the first streamers, you feel me? You've been streaming on this bitch for years. In my opinion, to avoid drama and looking like a hater, whether you're telling the truth or not, I haven't looked at shit. I don't give a fuck. I think you should just slide in some DMs from now on. You feel me?
Nope, I don't do that shit. Sorry, man, I don't do that shit. Hey,
bro, this nigga stand on
business. If you do something in public, brother, you're in the scope of the public. Again, if you do some shit in the public, I look at it.
And that's real, by the way.
At the public's eye, and I call it in the public. Okay, I'm not gonna go hide in the fucking DMs and be like, yo, dude, blah, blah, blah. And generally, like,
that's literally what he's doing now, bro. He's talking about there's a dude with 30 to 40,000 views viewbotting right now, nobody hating or no one saying anything about him. Why are you not saying nothing? You just sound guilty as fuck, dude. I'm not gonna lie, talking about sliding into a nigga DMs. XQC is right. This is why this.
No. For the first time ever, I completely disagree with DH here. Here's my personal take on it. If you assume that somebody is potentially viewbotting or somebody is doing something wrong, I don't agree with the first step you do, go public with it. How many times has somebody taken allegations of something and ruined somebody else's career based on allegations that were not true? Sometimes are they true? Yes. But there's also the possibility that it isn't true. And when you sit there and you go out based on one website that you look at or two websites that you look at, and you have no context, you didn't actually see the streams occur. And if he sat there and he watched 30 minutes of the stream, he's like, okay, let me go back and look at the 30 minutes of a stream where he did decently well. The stream from the last stream where he just did regular numbers. Then you can make that argument. But if you're going to sit there and you're just going to look at the numbers and then call people out, that's messy. That's messy. That's not standing on DH. Much respect, much love, always and forever. But I disagree with that. I don't consider that standing on business, because at the end of the day, XQC can't stand in the ring with nobody. He's a fake demon. All right. He's a fake demon. He's an internet troll. He always has been. So now, is him doing this perfectly within his character? Yes. But I refuse to agree with the fact that this is the correct way to go about it, because these aren't confirmed instances. These are what he thinks are people that have viewbots. Right? So to me, if I think you did something, we're going to have a sidebar conversation, and if I plan on going public and throwing you in there as an example regardless, then I'm going to do that anyways. But I'm about to let you know in your DMs, we gonna have that conversation first. Because to me, that's just respecting as you are in this area of content creation just as much as I am. But what I'm not about to do is sit there and just throw out accusations and then be like, haha, sounds like it fits, sounds like you're botting, sounds like you're a troll. Like, no, that doesn't make sense to me. If you think something is the case and you think somebody's doing something they shouldn't be, if that's your homeboy and you think they're doing something they shouldn't be, you're not just gonna go out there and tell everybody in the world that you think he's doing something he shouldn't be doing. You're going to talk to him first at the very least and be like, yo, bro, are you doing such and such? Bro, that's not cool, gang. You got to cut that out. And if he refuses to cut it out, and he's like, nah, bro, F you, da-da-da, and that's the stance he takes, then you say, hey, I can't stand with that. I'm either going to A, cut you off, or B, I'm about to just sit there and air your shit out. That's just how it is. If you decide to do that, perfectly fine, completely credible, and then you can leak the DMs. And now you're 100% valid in everything that you do, because they tried to hide it. But he's out here throwing pins at a board hoping one of them sticks. And we've known from previous Twitch updates that major streamers have been known after they make a major update that it messes with their views and it messes with their overall analytics and their ad revenue. We're not going to act like Twitch has always been perfect and they've always been a saint. I don't agree. And I would love to sit there and be like and think for a second that I'm just hating because XQC. I just fundamentally disagree with the logic of attacking the issue this way. I think it's just messy. It's unnecessarily messy. Now, if you are somebody and you're not cool with Rage, you're not cool with Lacey, these are people that you don't associate with, that you never plan on associating with, you're not cool with these people, these are just people that you never plan on having a bridge with, right? You're burning this bridge right now. If you never plan on making contact with these people or anything like that, and you know for a fact that they are botting, you have Twitch insiders or whatever the case may be, then by that case, it is what it is. You got it because you don't plan on ever associating with them again. But to my knowledge, him and XQC and Rage have never had an issue like that. I would think that more so Lacey and XQC might have. I don't know any drama behind them two. But if I were to assume between those two pairs, I would definitely lean that Lacey has more of an issue. Because Rage has always been more of the intermediary character. Like even when him, Kai, and what's his name? Bruce were doing the boys' nights and everything went haywire. He wasn't nearly as off-put on Bruce as Kai was. And Rage, for the most part, is just more of a mellow personality, as goofy and off the walls as he can be sometimes. But you sitting here and just throwing these accusations out here and saying, "Now I'm not jumping in anybody's thing." That's now, is it not him? Sure. Is it not him? Absolutely. But we're not going to sit here and act like this is the correct way to go about it. Imagine you thought somebody actually was committing a genuine crime. And you sat there and just threw it out there like that. Yeah. Yeah, his eyes. I'm not gonna lie. Since his surgery, he's been a little bit different. But overall, I don't see the reason why you would want to go this far and do this. I understand the logic behind potentially wanting to. I even understand the logic behind saying, I think somebody's doing something wrong. But to not know for certain and just throw it out there for the entire internet to see is crazy. And I'm not going to sit here and defend that take. That's why I just, for the first time ever, I vehemently disagree with DH's take on this one. This is, in my opinion, a bad take. Like I said, all love in the world and everything, because videos are always fire. I appreciate everything that he has to say, but this is the first actual miss for me.
Niggas growing on me, because that's literally what I'm thinking. Why are you being so like, this gonna sound weird, but you low-key being submissive in a sense? Cause you really a grown man talking about some, I ain't gonna say who it is. Bro, nigga, if you don't say it, come on.
No, because this is the thing, right? To me, there's two stances to take. If you see somebody doing, like, say you have a friend that's cheating on a test, right? Let's say the school days. You have a friend that you know is cheating on a test. He tells you that he cheats on tests. You can either sit next to that classmate while he's taking the test, while he's cheating, or you can sit away from the classroom, or you can tell the teacher. Or you can tell the teacher, right? You can join, you can remove yourself from the situation, or you can tell on them. Those are your three choices. Rage says, I don't want to participate in it, but I'm also not about to sit there and put you on blast in front of everybody. That's something you have to take up with everybody else when you get caught, or if somebody else decides to out you. But that's not what I'm about to do to you, right? But I'm not going to take part. That's all he's saying, which to me, I'm perfectly fine with. As long as you don't join in, I don't have an issue with it. Because at the end of the day, viewbotting is against the terms of service, and as soon as you admit that you viewbotted, your account's gone. It's gone. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's against terms of service. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, right? Unless there's an under the table deal that happens between you and the owner of Twitch and everybody in the main office. There's no recovering from that. So him throwing out bro's name, me personally, I can understand if you say in his shoes you would snitch. Me personally, I wouldn't. I'm just not associating with you because I don't want that drama on me. Respectfully, right? I'm not saying you're a terrible person because you're viewbotting, because I think a lot of people create some sort of fake buzz on their channels. But me personally, that's not my bag. That's not my bag. That's you. That's not me. But I'm also not going to sit there and put you on blast in front of everybody because I just, quite frankly, don't care enough. And I know this is what you make. This is what you make your living on. So how you live is how you live. When you get caught up is when you get caught up. But me personally, I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna abstain. I'm not gonna be a part of it. That's fine.
On, bruh. Nigga got an iced out chain talk about sliding to a DMs to discuss why nigga view botting. I guess, my nigga. I guess. And I think that's really where I'll leave it off in terms of rage, because no way as a grown man will I be sitting down in an iced out chain talking about some DMs I don't want to leak. Boy, slow down. I'm not gonna lie. But DDG's response was somehow even worse.
Oh, he said I'm botting. Listen, yeah, I do not care enough to bot no goddamn views. You think if I'm spending all this money, bro, you think I'm finna motherfucking pay for some goddamn bots? I don't care that much. Nigga, I do not care that much.
This is perfectly in character for him to
bot,
say.
Bro, if a nigga's botting his views, nigga, give it up. It's not that serious, bro. We're streaming. Like, y'all niggas didn't see me stream for 5 months straight, bro. Like, I seen me gain 400,000 followers in 3 days. It was like, I just don't care that much about it. I love streaming, but this isn't my, like, this nigga been streaming for 30 years. You know what I mean?
This is going to apply to this clip, but this is more general, and I think I understand the issue I have with DDG's character, and it's that nothing he says sounds genuine. He seriously sounds like he's saying what he thinks people will find cool or have aura because he has to compensate for lack of swag. He has this nonchalant persona saying, it's not that deep, I don't even really care. Like he didn't spend a few million on a whole reality TV show production for the same stream that he says isn't that deep, or like how he put someone's dead father on his phone over something that is not that serious.
That was out of pocket.
The way DDG comes across to me is that he's hollow, and there's definitely clips that do better at conveying that, but this one just made me look at him and think, yeah, I think he looks empty. But with the view botting stuff aside, I want to briefly, or maybe not briefly, talk about my feelings on it. I obviously don't think view botting is good, and nobody should be doing this because all it does is cause us to drift further and further away from what the golden age of content is, and that's feelings. These things lack that realness that niggas crave, and to engineer a career down to even the most human part of it, which is the viewers, is terrible. And it also fucks over smaller creators too, so there's that. The beauty in life though is that I think all of that, but I also think it's becoming part of the game, sadly. Like, yeah, Twitch has good anti-view bot measures, but for how long? One could view the bots as merely the next stage of technological advancement, and to not use the bots is to be left behind. That's why top streamers are doing it, and that's why when Rage was defending DDG, yeah, I said I think he sounds guilty, but also part of me just feels like it's just becoming the game now, and eventually the plan is to make this normal, and until then all they can do is just keep it quiet, try not to stir too much drama around it, and yeah, you feel me? Even if Twitch themselves doesn't agree with view botting, that's not gonna stop them, hence why top streamers do it all the time. And nigga, this is off script, but I forgot to say, I think XQC is going insane because nigga, there's a clip of this dude claiming that FaZe has a Viewbot server room in their house. I'm gonna play that.
Are you talking about XQC?
Hey, bro, niggas. I'm gonna be live tomorrow, and niggas about to look dumb as fuck.
Yeah, yo, by the way, Ron, I'm going to expose the power bill that you guys have, because I know you guys have your in-house bots at the FaZe house. I'm not stupid. I know about the server room, by the way. I know about the power bill that you guys have every month. This is ahead of the curve. Guys, Ron and his squad are ahead of the curve. They have in-house shit, in-house server farm at home. Of course, we're not gonna get affected by the bots going down. They have their own shit. That's crazy.
What time? I want to get involved.
I can't prove it right now. Next week.
Oh, shit.
What the They have an absurd phone bill. They have an absurd electrical bill. They have a server room for bots for the entirety of FaZe. And then you follow that up with, I just can't prove it yet. That's a crazy accusation. That'd be like looking at a random person on the street that looks like they could potentially commit murder and saying, you know what? You've got dead bodies in your closet, don't you? That's exactly what you have. And then standing on that, that opinion doesn't hold water at the end of the day. That's a crazy accusation to sit there and make on somebody.
some DIY, DEI shit.
That's how you know he been fighting the Viewbotting battle for a long ass time. I'm not gonna lie, and it's hella funny. But that's just how I feel. Subscribe for more unsolicited opinions. Join my membership. Join my Discord. I do want that shit to be active.
We rock with DH, but I don't go with that take. That was a little bit rocky for me personally.